The Avengers Doomsday. X-Men teaser isn't just a cameo drop, it's one of the most significant MCU reveals in years. Fans have been begging to see the X-Men fully integrated into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and this trailer finally delivers on that promise in a massive way. The teaser opens with a haunting, dark shot of the X-Mansion in ruins, the iconic home of mutant kind destroyed and abandoned. That image alone tells us the stakes are already high before the battle even starts. This isn't a soft introduction to mutants. This is mutants at their most vulnerable. We then see Professor Charles Xavier in his wheelchair, older and solemn, alongside Magneto, two of the most iconic figures in mutant history. Their presence together suggests a relationship that's evolved beyond simple rivalry. Magneto's voiceover in the teaser sets the tone for the entire conflict. Death comes for us all. The question isn't, are you prepared to die? The question is, who would you be when you close your eyes? This dark thematic focus hints that the story isn't just about winning battles, but about identity, sacrifice, and facing one's greatest fears. One of the most thrilling moments in the teaser shows Cyclops in his classic, comics-accurate blue and yellow suit, letting out a powerful optic blast on a battlefield that appears to feature Sentinels, giant mutant hunting machines. Seeing Cyclops like this, fully unleashed and leading the charge, is a huge deal for fans. In previous X-Men films, especially under Fox, Cyclops was often sidelined or underutilized, and here Marvel appears to be giving him the moment he's always deserved. The design choice of his costume, a nod to the beloved 1990s animated series, is clearly intentional, showing that Marvel wants to honor classic X-Men lore while bringing these characters into the MCU spotlight in a way that feels right. What's especially interesting is how many original Fox X-Men actors are confirmed to be returning for Doomsday. Patrick Stewart reprising Professor X, Ian McKellen as Magneto, James Marsden as Cyclops, Alan Cumming as Nightcrawler, and Rebecca Romijn as Mystique are all part of the film's massive ensemble. Bringing these legacy performers into Doomsday is not just fan service, it's Marvel weaving decades of mutant cinema into its own narrative fabric. This huge crossover event places mutants and Avengers side by side against a threat big enough to justify such a massive team up, and that threat seems to be Dr. Doom himself, portrayed once again by Robert Downey Jr., this time as the villain. Doom's presence at the center of Doomsday means the conflict isn't simply about mutant persecution or Avengers' defense. It's a multiverse-level war that could rewrite reality itself. The destruction of the X-Mansion suggests this world is already in chaos before the Avengers even arrive. In Marvel lore, such devastation often indicates a timeline crisis or alternate reality event similar to comic arcs like Age of Apocalypse, where reality breaks down and mutants, heroes, and villains alike are forced into desperate alliances or tragic losses. While it's not confirmed that Doomsday is adapting that specific storyline, the similarities are striking and hard to ignore. The teaser's tone is heavy and philosophical. Magneto's narration isn't about victory, it's about identity and mortality. That gives us a hint that Doomsday is meant to be more than a typical superhero spectacle. It's asking, who are these heroes when all conventional structures fall away, and what are they willing to sacrifice for the futures they believe in? Mutants have always been about survival and identity in a world that fears them. Pairing that with the Avengers' legacy of selfless protection makes for a thematic collision that feels uniquely dramatic. There's also the dynamic of characters with different worldviews and histories finally teaming up in a unified fight against Doom. Xavier's dream of coexistence and Magneto's more militant philosophy have always been at odds, yet here they are, side by side, suggesting the threat is big enough that old rivalries must be set aside. Beyond mutants, Doomsday is poised to be a multiverse blockbuster. The film's massive roster includes not just the Avengers and X-Men, but also the Fantastic Four and new characters from recent MCU projects, making this crossover possibly the biggest in Marvel history. Cyclops' optic blast against what appears to be a Sentinel indicates that the stakes are not only about stopping Doom, but about the survival of mutant kind itself. A theme that resonates deeply with classic X-Men comics like Decimation and House of M, where the mutant population's existence was threatened on a cosmic scale. And while Wolverine himself hasn't appeared in this particular teaser, notably absent even though he exists in the MCU thanks to Deadpool and Wolverine, his absence allows other mutants like Cyclops to finally take center stage without being overshadowed. That's a big shift from past X-Men cinema where Wolverine dominated nearly every storyline. This trailer doesn't just hint at a crossover crossover. It confirms that the MCU is weaving mutant mythology into its main narrative arc, a move that longtime comic fans have dreamed of for years. Seeing classic characters, legacy actors, and comic-accurate costumes on screen together builds a new foundation for the MCU's next era, one where mutants are no longer on the periphery but central to the universe's destiny. Ultimately, the Avengers Doomsday X-Men teaser is a declaration. The era of mutants has finally arrived in earnest, and they will play a defining role in the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. From ruined sanctuaries to powerful optic blasts, from philosophical narration to legacy character reunions, this teaser sets up a collision of legacies that could shape the MCU for years to come.